Hello everyone, welcome back. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to share your GDevelop game school to social media and some messaging services. So before we begin, consider liking this video so we reach our target of 500 likes, also subscribing and turning on the notification so you don't miss future updates. Okay, so let's begin. First of all, let's open up our project manager. And in here, which is our project manager, you can see we have two scenes, the start scene and the finish scene. So we're taking a look at these two scenes real quick. And basically our start scene contains our game, while our finish scene, this would handle our players sharing his score to your social media and messaging apps. Okay, so let's open up our start scene. There we go. Here you can see a really simple platformer game, a basic platformer game which I made, and this is our player. This are the coins, the floor, the files. There we go, the floor, enemy, sorry, and we have a flag. This is actually the end of this basic platformer. Just in case you're wondering how to make a platformer game, I have a tutorial on this, a series actually, which you can take a look. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. Let's take a look at the events which handle this game. Okay, so let's go to our start event. Right here, as you can see, I've grouped this into different groups. Let's make this much more organized. So in our camera group, we have this, which is the center of the camera on player. This, like I said earlier, this is our player. So this is center the camera on our player. No lerp, no smooth movement, just a basic camera moving, following the player. Okay. So next up we have our enemy group. In our enemy group, we have some variables right here, the go left and go left variable, which basically handle our player moving right and moving left. As you can see, our player has the same behavior as, our enemy has the same behavior as our player, which is the, sorry about that. Let's take a look, which is the platformer object behavior. We unchecked default controls because we don't want using the default controls. Okay, so back into our events, as you can see, this simulates right for our enemy to move to the right, and it also flips our enemy. And once the variable go left of enemy is equals to 0, so basically this would handle our player flipping once it's in collision with the right and left. And this is my right and left. There you can see these dots. This would tell the enemy when to flip to the left and to flip to the right, and well, that's just the point of the right and the left. Okay, so right here we can also see the hide left and the hide right. So this should hide the right left, which are our player's indicator of telling it when to flip to the right and when to flip to the left. That will tell it what to do. Okay, so into our coin group here, we can see players in collision with the coin. This would add to our global variable score. It would add 1 to it and delete the coin. So why are we using a global variable? So we're using a global variable because we want to get this certain variable in our finish scene to share to your social media and messaging app. So that's why we're using a global variable. If we use a scene variable, we can only get that in this start scene. Okay, so well, that's all for our coin group. Now let's go into our score group. So this changes the score text. There we go, this text actually. There we go, that's the score text. So we modify the score text to be equals to the global variable score string, which is this variable we created right here. So we would change this. Once it adds 1, it would display X and display 1. So it keeps on adding 1 once our player is in collision with the coin, and keeps on going. Okay, so into our end group, I'll close up my score and my coin group. There we go. So if one of these conditions is true, players in collision with the enemy, it will change to the scene finish, and once the players in collision with the flag, it will change to the scene finish. Okay, so let's take a look at the game, preview this. So here's my little player getting the coins. As you can see, it's updating right there, and I don't want to touch this. As you can see, our event ends the game once we're in collision with this enemy. So there we go, that's it. As you can see, we have 15 coins. And once we're in collision with the flag, it ends the game and it tells you you have a score of 15, and you can share to this Reddit, you can share to your messaging app, WhatsApp, Twitter, and Blogger, and probably Facebook, which we won't support in this video. Okay, so that's it for our start scene. So let's head into our finish scene. Right here you can see we have this is our finish scene. Let's take a look at the existing event in our finish scene. So in our finish event, you can see the change the exposition of score. This is the score text. So we change the exposition of the score to the scene window width divided by 2 minus the score width divided by 2, which would position the score in the center. Same for our share right here. This is our share text, so this would also position the share in the center. So let's head back into this. And so due to some issues with Facebook, something related to privacy policy, you can take a look here. Right here, I found this Stack Overflow thread. There we go, has something to do with it. It's limitation of Facebook SDK due to some kind of privacy platform policy, sorry. So due to this, I'll take out Facebook, so delete that, and we'd have Telegram replace its spot. Okay, sorry, that's a little bit slow. I'm trying to scroll through, and okay, that's perfect. I'll try aligning this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're gonna look at Telegram, Blogger, Twitter, and WhatsApp, and also Reddit. So showing you how to share to all this platform right now. Okay, so let's head into our events, which this would where would place all our events to handle sharing to your social media and messaging apps. Okay, so there we go. Let's add a new group, and I'll name this share. Okay, there we go. Let's add a new event and put us into our share group. Okay, so first of all, let's start with our Telegram account. Telegram, so let's set this. Once our player clicks on our Telegram, we want it to open up our Telegram, and from the player, maybe telling the player I scored, displaying I scored the player's score and in my GDevelop game. Okay, in a platform game which was made in GDevelop. So let's start with that. Let's add an action. Let's select Telegram, and there we go. So let's go. The cursor touch is on this object. Okay, and add a new condition, released, which is the mouse button is released. The left mouse button, that's the primary button, so the left mouse button is released. Let's add an action. Let's display that as a URL. So first of all, we'll be taking this is the method which would open Telegram in an Electron application. This is not recommended, but we'll just take a look at it. And just in case you want to read more about it, I have this Medium article right here. I'll leave a link in the description also, just in case you want to check it out. And okay, so let's take a look at this. So for the URL, we would need to get tweeted Telegram's custom sharing URL, I guess. Let's open up this, and I made a GitHub gist where I have all this placed. I have the WhatsApp custom. There we go. We have the Twitter, we have Blogger, we have Telegram, and we have Reddit. So take a look at all of this. Also, I'll leave a link in the description just in case you want to take a look at this. Okay, so copy Telegram. Okay, control copy. There we go. So paste this, double quotes, and control V. Okay, so here where we can get this text equals, so you can place in your text here, and that could go something like this, and Telegram would be displayed once you share this in Telegram. So for now, I'll just go with I scored, and there we go. So I scored space. Let's add a plus. So now we need to get this, which is the global variable we have here. So we need to get this global variable score. Let's open this, and I scored. Let's get it as a global variable score plus. So this would display the score as I scored, display score plus, and let's add double quotes. We need to place our text. So I scored, let's say 5. I scored 5 points. PTS. Let's give a space before PTS in my platformer game made with GDevelop. Okay, there we go. And okay, so we have this ready. Once our Telegram button is pressed, it would open the URL. I scored, place the score, and let's say 5. I scored 5 points in my platform game made with GDevelop. Okay, so now we can actually test Telegram, because this would basically redirect us to its website. So let's move on to the next, which would be our Blogger. So let's go back to our finish events. Let's add a new event. Put this into your share group. I'll just copy this just to save some time, and copy, paste, and okay, there we go. And select Blogger, and okay. So the cursor torch is on Blogger. Once again, let's add an action. Let's open up URL. Let's open a URL. Open a URL, and here we go. Let's head over to my GitHub gist where I have this, and we'll be going with Blogger. I'll just copy this, copy, paste, there we go, and paste this. So now we have this. This would be displayed, and whatever you place here would be displayed and once you share it. So I would say I scored, once again a plus sign, and let's get the global variable score. There we go. So I scored this, and double quotes, space, point. I scored this point in my GDevelop game. Wait, is that what we wrote? Wait, this is not right. I scored in my platform game. Okay, let's make this all equal in my platform game. Okay, so once again for Blogger, this should display. Now we can actually test out our Blogger, but okay, I'll just preview this. And for Blogger, sure, as you can see, we have a score of 0 right there, and that should take some time. There we go. So it's prompting me to sign into my Google account, which I cannot do at the moment. But once you sign in, it should display this. So I'll just skip through this. Let's save some time and just show you guys once again. And so here we go. Here we have our Twitter, we have WhatsApp, and you just have to do the same thing. You place its custom URL before the text, then you place your global variable, which should display the text, and add in the rest of your text at the end. Okay, so do one for WhatsApp, then I'll just fast forward it, and let's go. So add a new event, and there we go. Copy this, copy and paste, and let's do this. Okay, I'll go for Twitter, and let's open a URL. There we go, and open a URL or a file. Once again, double quotes. Head back to my GitHub gist, and there we go. Copy this, copy and minimize, and kind of paste this right here. So this is open URL. Open Twitter up, and once again we can share this. So type in I scored, space, add a plus, I scored. Let's get the global variable string score. So I scored this, once again double quotes, PTS. I scored this point in my platformer game made with GDevelop. Okay, so this is Twitter. Now how would you actually add in hashtags? Okay, so the URL does not support some characters, so we need to head over. I have this website URL encoded reference, so you can basically get this from here. As you can see, we have this %21, which mean very different things. They're all encoded, and right here we can see the hashtag. So we need this is the hashtag, just in case you want to tag someone. Okay, there we go. That's the %40. There we go. So that's for the ads, and this is for the hashtag which we'll be using. So that's a percentage 23. I'll just copy that, head back, and also I'll leave a link in the description. It's sorry about that. and I'm gonna just place that here, Control V, %23. That would display it as a hashtag 23. Okay, so basically, there we go. Let's preview the one of Twitter. And we have 0 points. I just want to share it to Twitter, and so basically, here we go. So as you can see, I scored 0 points in my platformer game made with GDevelop. That's the hashtag right there. Okay, so we just close this, and like I said earlier, you can do the same thing. Just copy the You can just copy this URL right here and place it, and place the text after it. Okay. Okay, so that's all we have. Telegram, WhatsApp, Blogger, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Reddit for this. Okay, so next up, now as you can see, this opens it in an Electron window, and what we want is to actually open it in our browser. So to do that, we need to add in a little bit of JavaScript to this, and okay, so I'll show you how to do that real quick. So here we go. So let's start up with our Telegram right there, and I'll add a sub event right there at the bottom of it. Add a new sub event so I can pull this in and disable this. Toggle disable. Okay, so right here we need to add. We need to add our JavaScript code, which you can do by clicking on the plus sign right here. Click on that and JavaScript code. So we have this. Let's pull it as a subcondition of this. So next up, let's delete the default code which comes with our JavaScript in GDevelop, and now we need to create a variable, which is a variable I named as game underscore score. So the game score would be equals to this. It should be equals to this variable. So now we're trying to get this global variable which we have here. So to do that, you need to add in runtime scene. Sorry about that. Runtime scene dot get game. There we go. Parentheses dot get variables. Parentheses and dot get once again, and in it we need to place it in quotes. So I'm placing mine in single quotes, and we need to place our score variable. There we go. So score, and there we go. Okay, so next up we need to do this. Require Electron parentheses and Electron dot shell dot open external. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Open external and double quotes. Now place our code in this. Now we can just come in here and get our Telegram and copy this. Okay, you know what? I'll just copy everything, and okay, and right here, just paste it, quotes, and delete, Control V. So there we go. Now this should display HTTPS and our Telegram link that I scored. Now we can't use this anymore. This only works in our event. Rather, would use our variable right here, our variable game score. So let's kick this out. Let's kick out the global variable string score. Let's kick that out. Backspace and add in game score. Now this should display the variable, which is game score variable in here. This should work in our Telegram app. Once should. Like I said earlier, this would open it up in an external browser. And let's take a look at this. Okay, so close the running preview and just reopen it again. Now this is Telegram. Once I click on this, there we go. It opens it up in my default browser, which is Chrome. As you can see this, then we are not logged in or signed into Telegram, so it would redirect us to its website. So if we were signed into Telegram, it should display this and prompt you to share it. Okay, so there we go, and I just want to show you something. So I'll move all the way to WhatsApp and add a sub condition. Once again, add a new condition. Okay, so add a new JavaScript code, add and JavaScript code, and there we go. Copy this and toggle disable the existing URL. Toggle disable the existing URL action we added in, so disable that. Toggle disable. Okay, so save us some time. I'll just come all the way to the top, copy this, advanced copy, and paste. So have this now, and now URL, I'll get this again. I just want to get this copy, and for WhatsApp, and it should display, and there we go. Okay. Then this time this should open up this ice code and display ice code, games code, this, and our default browser. So let's preview this. Go to WhatsApp, and there we go. As you can see, it's opening up. So it should display objects right here because it's an object, and now we need to tell it to get it as a string. So that's what I want to show you. So right here you need to add a dot and underscore str. This would ensure it gets it as a string. Same for Telegram and every other. You add in this too. So this and string. There we go. There we go, and run this. Let's open this up. Sorry, let's open up a preview and click on WhatsApp. And there we go. So as you can see, I scored 0 points in my platform game made with GDevelop. Okay, so now you need to do this you need to add this JavaScript code to every single one. We have Twitter, we have Blogger, you need to add it if you want to open it up in your external browser. Okay, so do that real quick. Okay, so I have all my JavaScript code placed, and there we go. This should work. This should open it up in our default browser. So let's head back to our start. Let's play this and get a decent points. Let's go and play this. Okay, so here we go, and we're in collision. As you can see, we get 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. I just want to be in collision, and there we go. So our score is 7 now. Let's try sharing it to our Blogger account. And there we go, so he asks me what blog I want to paste this to. I'll just select my blog and share. And there we go, as you can see, I scored 7 points in my platform game made with GDevelop. That's for Blogger, once again, and Twitter, that works already. So here again, I scored 7 points in my platform game made with GDevelop. And that works for every single one, WhatsApp, and I'll just hit my Reddit also. Something here, I scored 7 points in my platform game made with GDevelop, and well, basically that's it. That's how to share your score to your social media and messaging accounts. There we go. Once again, Reddit, I scored 7 points in my platform game made with GDevelop, and there we go. That's how it's done. Okay, really easy, simple, and straightforward. So I'll leave a link in the description to download this project folder. It would actually be available in my Discord server. So if you're part of my Discord server, you would see it in the resources channel of my Discord server. And just like I said, I will leave every single link which we used in this video. It would all be available in the description, just in case you want to check it out. And in case you like this video, in case you enjoyed this video, consider liking this video and sharing to everyone. In case you like this video, consider liking the video, subscribing if you haven't, and sharing to everyone to help this channel grow. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you next time.